God morning, everybody. It is June 5th. We have Jesus calling. Remember that you live in a fallen world. That's something that we truly need to remember. That's a really good message, right? Because it's easy to get so wrapped up in this world, so wrapped up in the hustle and bustle, in the American dream, right? And all the different materialistic things that can enrapture our souls, enrapture our minds, enrapture our hearts, right? But we have to remember that we do live in a fallen world. We live in a man-made world. We live in a world that's very devoid of God. And if we forget that and we succumb to this world, then we are going to pay the price. An abnormal world tainted by sin, much frustration and failure result from you seeking perfection in this life. There is nothing perfect in this world except me. That is why closeness to me satisfies deep yearnings and fills you with joy. That is so true. The reason that people get so enraptured by God, the reason that everyone on this planet seeks religion is because we were made that way. We were made to seek religion because God wants us to seek him out. And not only that, we are made to believe in something greater than ourselves because we suck, right? There's so many things we do that are wrong. There's so many things where I could just look around and be like, humans are truly disgusting. How could we do that, right? But it's also at the same time, it is our fault, right? But it's also just that humanity in us, right? And the devil that seeps into our hearts, our minds, and our souls, right? Like, it's really sad. God said in the beginning, he said, and failure result from seeking perfection in this life. An abnormal world tainted by sin. An abnormal world. Our world that we're living in today isn't the world we're supposed to be living in. It's not the world that God truly envisioned for us. It's not the perfect, beautiful world that he wanted us to come into, right? That he designed us for, right? It's an abnormal world tainted with sin, right? It is so difficult these days to be celibate or to not curse or to be kind to your neighbor, right? Because we live in a world that's just so anti against all that, right? All these amazing things that God preaches, that Jesus told us to do, that we're supposed to live by. It makes it more difficult living in a world that does not believe in any of that. But that's why we have to be the ones that enforce it. That's why we have to be the ones that want to wait for marriage, that want to have control of our tongue, that want to have self-control, that want to be disciplined, that want to come to the Lord, right? We have to be those people to set the bar, to set the example of how humans were truly meant to live, how we're meant to function, how we're meant to be, right? I have planted longing for perfection in every human heart, like I just said, right? I've planted longing for perfection in every human heart, right? That's that wanting, that's that religious drive that all humans have, that need to worship something greater than ourselves because we want to be perfect, right? This is a good desire, which I alone can fulfill. But most people seek this fulfillment in other people and earthly pleasures or achievements, right? Everyone's going to worship something. It just depends what you're going to worship, right? Because that's how we were made. We were made to worship. You can never find a human being on this planet that isn't worshiping something. And you should think about that for a moment. Why is that? Why are humans so keen to worship, right? If we were just humans, if we were just blobs of fish that evolved from nothing, right? And like atheists are correct, and there's just a big explosion and there's no power behind it, and just everything just happened randomly, then why is there 9 billion people on the planet and every single one of them worship something? Why is that? It makes no sense. It's because it's in our nature. It's written in our code, right? Because we are made from God. We are made in his image. But most people seek this fulfillment in other people and earthly pleasures. Watch out what you worship, because you are going to worship something. Make sure it's the right thing. Make sure it's the right person. Make sure it's God. Thus, they create idols before which they bow down. I will have no other gods before me. Make me the deepest desire of your heart. Let me fulfill your yearning for perfection, right? You can worship money. You can worship women. You can worship cars. You can worship a promotion. You can worship family. You can worship good things, right? Like working out. You can worship things that seem to benefit you, right? Like being a good father, like being a good husband. You can worship, just because what you worship is positive doesn't mean that it's not going to negatively impact your life. Doesn't mean that it doesn't take you further away from God, right? Let's see where this comes from. Romans 8:22. We know that the whole creation has been groaning as in the pains of childbirth right up to the present time. And we have Exodus 23. You shall have no other gods before me. Then finally we have Psalm 37:4. Delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. Guys, you're going to worship something, so make sure you worship the right one, the creator. That is June 5th. I love you guys so much. And with that, I will say amen.